We're going to start with this, of course, the biggest storyline for the Philadelphia Eagles. It is the health of Jalen Hurts going into this Christmas Eve matchup against the Dallas Cowboys on Saturday. Is Hurts actually going to play against the Cowboys? Now, it's been a lot of rumblings, and given what he said, Nick Sirianni said, which we'll get to right around the corner, they said there's a chance he does play after it looked as though he was going to be ruled out as early as a couple of days ago. So much to unpack. We'll talk Gardner Minshew as well as the NFC Playoff Picture. First, though, just want to thank the Eagles Now family and all of you who have subscribed to the channel, helping us build this into the best Eagles channel right here on YouTube. Just surpassed last night 38,000 subscribers. So if you want daily coverage on the Birds and you're not subscribed, make the smart decision and subscribe today. Here is what we do know about Jalen Hurts, because there's a lot of unknowns going into this game against the Cowboys, and if the Eagles win, lock down the NFC East as well as the number one seed in the NFC to get home field advantage. Hurts suffered that shoulder injury against the Chicago Bears. Nick Sirianni said he could play. Jalen Hurts didn't rule out playing. And is that the truth coming from Sirianni or Hurts? Or are they trying to gain a competitive edge because now the Dallas Cowboys don't know which quarterback to prepare for? Two different styles, by the way, in Hurts as well as Gardner Minshew. So here's what Nick Sirianni said this week. I do not put it past Jalen Hurts to play. I don't put anything past him as far as his physical and mental toughness. There's a chance he can play this week. We will play him when he's ready. If that's this week, if it's next week, if it's the week after that, when Jalen's ready to play, he is ready to play all aspects of it. And Sirianni let it be known what we've all become to be familiar with Jalen Hurts. This guy is tough as nails. This guy has a great head on his shoulders, and in between the ears, this guy is rock tough. And he heals fast as well because he's had some injuries throughout his Eagles career, and he's been able to bounce back. He also did Nick Sirianni call Jalen Hurts one of the toughest players that he knows. And, of course, Hurts was pressed during his media availability as to whether or not he was going to play. And here's what he had to say. There's definitely a chance. I'm taking it day by day, though. Everybody knows that I'm dealing with something. It's pretty public. It's out there. I'm not one to really talk about myself. Obviously, being quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, you can't run from that, but I'm taking everything one day at a time, preparing versus a very good defense in Dallas. But Jalen, do you know that this Cowboys defense has gotten throttled the last 2 weeks against the Texans and against the Jacksonville Jaguars? Now, what is interesting about this Hurts injury? It happened, he got crunched to the frozen turf in Chicago at Soldier Field. He actually played pretty well after that. He completed 7 of 10 passes for 110 yards, the long play being that dime to A.J. Brown down that sideline. He also carried it 4 times. So it didn't look as though the injury had a lot of impact or effects on him as a thrower. But sometimes adrenaline can make up for that and you're able to gut it out. But also, is it smart to play Jalen Hurts against the Cowboys, knowing that the magic number right now is 1 to win the NFC East as well as the NFC Conference and get that aforementioned home field advantage? Since Jalen Hurts came off that ankle injury last year, this is a portion of why he's in the MVP conversation, because he has been absolutely sensational since coming off that ankle injury last year. And really, this is a full season sample size here. And this is miraculous. 16-1 record goes to show you the development of him as well. He's completed 67% of his passes for more than 4,000 yards. His touchdown to interception ratio is 25-6. His quarterback rating, 104 on the dot. And during that 17-game sample size, he's run for 836 yards, 15 more touchdowns. So that's 40 total touchdowns to 6 interceptions. And this has been MVP-level play. Now, Hurts did not practice on Wednesday. Gardner Minshew and Ian Book did, taking all of the quarterback reps. And this is after Gardner Minshew had to go to the funeral service for Mike Leach, where he was asked to speak and spoke eloquently about one of the more unique personalities and one of the greatest coaches that we've seen at the college football level. If I were to guess right now, I would say Jalen Hurts does not play, and I don't think he needs to play. And I do think Gardner Minshew, as we're about to break down, can still win this game for Philadelphia. But what do you think about all of this, especially this question here to my right? Who you going with on Christmas Eve? PHI for the Eagles, DAL for the Dallas Cowboys. I got Philadelphia all the way. Now, this is also why Gardner Minshew is a backup quarterback in my eyes, and he should be valued as a backup quarterback. There's no doubt about that because this guy is a very good middle tier, even backup type of guy, and the numbers certainly back that up. When he has made his first start of the season, it came on 3 occasions. It's been awesome. He's completed 61 of 70 passes. That's good for a completion percentage of 87%. Yards per attempt, nearly 10. 7 tutties, 1 pick. All other games in which he starts, he's not the same guy because the tape is out on Gardner Minshew, a.k.a. Rambo. Completion percentage goes down to 61%. Yards per attempt down from nearly 10 to 6.7. Touchdown-interception ratio is good for bad teams that he's been on with the Jags, 34-11. But from my seat, he doesn't really have the deep ball that Jalen Hurts has, that's for sure. But he could still target a bevy of weapons on this Eagles offense and find success, even if there is tape out on Gardner Minshew. This guy's a capable, quality quarterback, and as we've talked about, the Eagles have had plenty of success with backup quarterbacks over the last 2+ decades. And speaking of Dallas Goedert, because Gardner Minshew can't really stretch the field vertically and doesn't have that deep ball accuracy that Jalen has, could open up a lot of opportunities underneath on some of those checkdowns for Dallas Goedert. And we got a preview of how Goedert might look in this offense with Gardner Minshew as the quarterback last year when the Eagles beat the Jets. Goedert had one of the best pass-catching games of his career with Gardner Minshew starting in place of Jalen Hurts. 6 catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns, average yards per catch of 17.5. And if Goedert has the opportunity to play with Gardner Minshew, the man otherwise known as Minshew Mania and Rambo, he knows that he can have a big day just because of the identity of quarterback that Gardner Minshew is. He said this about Minshew: Gardner's just a smart football player, man. He's going to take what the defense gives him. Maybe the Cowboys will be playing a little bit soft outside, worrying about Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, so hopefully they forget about me and Minshew can just dump it to me over the middle. That'll be pretty nice. He also said, Dallas in Dallas, that'll sound nice come Saturday if we get that dub, and yes, it will sound sweet. And going back to that game against the Jets, which added to Minshew's first starts of a season and backed up him just playing really well when teams don't have the tape on him. But I think in this scheme, he can certainly find success. He was awesome that day. His other start last year came the final week of the season when the Eagles got just dusted by the Dallas Cowboys in a game that they rested a lot of their players. 20 of 25 that day in the Meadowlands, 242 yards, both of his touchdowns to Dallas Goedert. But me saying that Minshew struggles to push the ball downfield, that was the case against the Jets last year. Yards per attempt at 5.5. So he did not really push the ball downfield. That could be something to keep an eye out for against Dallas. And for Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, don't be stupid for the second consecutive week. Get Miles Sanders involved and feed him the rock to keep the Cowboys off balance. If the run game isn't working, that's one thing. But at least try to establish the run to open up the pass game for Gardner Minshew. Hopefully we can see a lot of Miles Sanders, who up to this point has been having a career year for Philadelphia. NFC playoff picture around the corner, as well as some Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence discussion, because great troll job by Philadelphia sending Jacksonville cheesesteaks for beating the Dallas Cowboys. First, though, let's tell you here about Rocket Money. The other week, I realized that I forgot to cancel my Apple TV subscription after a free trial ran out from over the summer. I had signed up at the time for a free trial to watch the final days of Ptolemy Gray with Samuel L. Jackson. Great show, by the way. And then I saw and got this alert a couple of weeks ago that Apple TV was upping their subscription costs. And that reminded me, wait, did I ever cancel that? I log on to Rocket Money, and it allowed me to cancel that subscription easily and fast. And right away, I was able to start saving that money. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, by the way. The app shows you all of your subscriptions in one place and cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't know that you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription, and to cancel it, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. So head to rocketmoney.com/Eagles now. This could save you hundreds of dollars per year. We're going to put that link in the comment section as well as the description of this video, whether it's Netflix, Spotify, Amazon, Apple TV for me. All of your subscriptions on one screen, then you just hit cancel. All right, next level trolling by the birds after Dougie P the only Super Bowl winning head coach in the history of this great franchise, pulled off the upset last week and taking down the Jacksonville Jaguars. Your boy here, I love the Jags +4, +4.5. Made some money on that one. But Eagles employees sent Peterson 35 Philly cheesesteaks for the Jags beating the Cowboys. That's great. And Doug Peterson has brought the best out of Trevor Lawrence as he's continued to be kind of a quarterback whisperer. Sample size is out there. Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, now Trevor Lawrence. We'll take a look at those numbers for Lawrence because we have to show and shower some love toward Dougie P. First, though, embrace debate here. Best cheesesteak spot in the Philadelphia area is what? Now, it's been a little while since I've been back to D'Alessandro's. That used to be my number one. But I've seen a lot of online movement saying that their cheesesteaks have become really bad and mediocre. So I have to find a new spot. Help me find that new spot right now in the comment section. As for Trevor Lawrence, thanks to the tutelage of Doug Peterson, it helps when Urban Meyer is no longer your head coach. 197 of 297, his last 8 games. He's completed 66% of his passes. He's been one of the more accurate throwers in the league. 15-3 touchdown to interception ratio. That's the coaching of Doug Peterson right there, and that's why I really like the hire at the time. As for that NFC playoff picture, Philadelphia going into Christmas Eve with a nice little cushion here in the NFC East division as well as in the NFC conference, right? They're 13-1, 99% chance to win the division, lock up the number 1 seed. They have to lose the rest of their games to lose their stranglehold of that top spot in the division as well as the conference. I don't buy the Minnesota Vikings as legit. San Francisco 49ers, I do. If they get the number 1 seed, that's scary. Both the Vikings and Niners going for that number 1 spot if the Eagles do struggle. And if the Cowboys win out and the Eagles lose out, they could win the division, and they could be a factor as a top 3 seed. That's why it's important with Gardner Minshew to take care of business on Saturday and leave no doubt. The remaining schedule for the Birds. I would be floored. I would be shocked if they lost the rest of these games. Week 16 against the Cowboys, Week 17 at home against the Saints, and then you stay at Lincoln Financial Field Week 18 against the New York Giants. This team is too well coached. They're too talented. They're too much on a roll right now to really falter down the stretch, in my opinion. Before we hop on out of here for this particular segment, love interacting with the Bird Gang on Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to hit me up, do so right now at Chase_Senior. It's the same handle on both social media platforms.